Well, here we are again. Welcome back to Who's Views. Yes, it's Brendan and myself here on the channel this evening. And look at us. Here we are with, well, this is what could effectively, I wanted to originally call this, Brendan, the calm before the storm. But actually, we're right in the middle of the storm, really, aren't we? On this Friday, the 24th of November.
In the eye of the storm, this is Doctor Who Eve. Doctor Who Eve. But, and I've got the excitement. I've got the butterflies.
Yeah, you were just telling me that before we came back on, and that's brilliant. It's great because I don't, because this is Doctor Who Eve. This is what we were talking about, and I was hoping to be feeling at this particular point some sort of excitement. Maybe it's my age. Maybe it's just because I'm not the sort of guy that does get excited about certain things, especially a TV show now. Maybe I've grown out of that, but I'm actually feeling nothing.
No, you do. You are kid. Yeah. You do.
It's terrible. Yes, but here we are. And nice to see you. Thank you for watching us here, as I say, on the 24th of November, the night before Doctor Who returns for the first of three anniversary specials, as we all know, starring David Tennant and Catherine Tate. The first one starts tomorrow at 6:30 BBC One, and I'm sure it's more or less the same on the Disney Plus with the Star Beast. So three of them over the next 3 weeks. We thought we'd just get together here to talk about what our expectations are, what our hopes are, what our fears are, just have a nice little cozy chat about it. And you are invited to this as well. So I would just like to say, if you are watching, please come into the chat. We want to know what you think. This is all about our views, our hopes, our fears. Please come into the chat and let us know. We've already got Pete's in there. Hello, panel, says, that's to us. Hiya, Pete, nice to see you. Please let us know what your hopes and fears for this new era, isn't it, Brendan? It's a new era of Doctor Who.
And I was just looking at the numbers. It's 2 years and 2 months since RTD was announced. It's 13 months since Jodie Whittaker regenerated. So
is it that? Oh, really? Oh, that's gone juice, hasn't it?
We have waited a while. And yes, there's been a bit of fuss the last few days. But as fans, we know this is the main game tomorrow. And
yeah.
And I'm just thinking of, I do my little analogies, but, you know, I'm a football fan as well. And as a fan of my football team, I would not approach the match wanting to kick them in and enjoy them losing and justify it. So I am up for it. If they want to surprise me tomorrow and I enjoy that hour, I want to do it. I really do want to enjoy it. And I've got a list of things that I'm expecting to be good.
Well, that's good. That's good because I mean, you mentioned this week that we've just been through as well. I think that's probably where I am just now, live as we're talking here on this particular evening, the night before it all goes out, because of course I'm just a little bit down about this at the moment because we've had lots of things happening. We've got all things going on. I'm certainly expecting some sort of preachy element to come through this after some of the stuff that's gone on. I'm very disappointed in the way the fans have been spoken to by BBC Studios representatives and Bad Wolf representatives. We all know who I mean. If you don't know who I mean, go back and have a look at our show Diamond Day, which we did last night on the show's 60th anniversary itself, where we all had a laugh, and we did have a laugh. It was fun. So yeah, but I do hope. I'm really, really hoping to be energized and excited and thrilled by these episodes that are coming up. I really, really am.
He kind of has factored that in, and I think we need to price in what we know is definitely coming in tomorrow's episode and just price it in. I mean, RTD, in the last notes on the Doctor Who magazine, that he had 2 pages of notes, didn't he? And I noted, he said, for example, he said, if you don't like something, don't exhaust yourself. Just smile and be glad that some people are happy and wait for the next seismic shift. And as you know, because I know you'll have read it, he went through all the usual seismic shifts when as fans we'd have thought, whoa, what's that? And
it was whole 2 pages of seismic shift, wasn't it, really? But I just sometimes think, hang on a minute, the danger there is you'll do what I did with the last reiteration of this and switch off.
But he did. I mean, some of them was much smaller. But for example, some Doctor Who fans of the William Hartnell era may have been shocked by suddenly this imposter Troughton and the concept of regeneration. That was, I got that. I wasn't there, neither were you. But I get that would have been a hell of a change to the programme's DNA. Units.
Times were different then as well, of course. They would have rolled with it in a sense as well, because it wouldn't have been that big. There wouldn't have been the millions of fans that we are now. And bearing in mind, it was only contained into the UK. As well. I mean, it was getting 7 to 9 million. I reckon in those days it would have been such a brand new concept that they would have rolled with it. And I remember friends of mine that were there at the time said, yes, it was a little bit of a woof, but you wanted to know what was going. How did that happen? What was it about? But then you forgot about Hartnell within 4 episodes of the new Doctor.
Yeah,
and traditional, we do tend to do. If they're any good, we do move on with them, too. And that's the trick when it comes to Doctor Who as well, isn't it? Really. I'll tell you one thing I am looking forward to, especially in these 3 specials that are coming up, is the return of the Celestial Toymaker. I'm very interested to see how the character now played by Neil Patrick Harris is now going to be presented, because certainly these photographs that they have issued of the said Toymaker, the Celestial Toymaker, seem to capture the character beautifully, I feel. And also, the fact that this is surrounded by something that does suggest a slightly sinister approach here. I mean, look at all this. I mean, there's nothing more spooky when you think about it than a Victorian toy shop when it's set up like this. And I love the way they've presented these, and I'm really, really quite keen to see what this is. Now, I believe he's only coming into the giggle, but I'm hoping it's all set up from tomorrow, really, so that you get the hint that the Toymaker's on his way back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a sense of Geppetto and Peter Pan, but you've also got not Peter Pan, Pinocchio, and I've got a sense of the Toymaker in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as well. He's dressed the same, actually. Very similar.
The Benny Hill character.
Yeah. And the other thing is, and I'm going to be very upbeat tonight, but when we've had a week where we're talking about tropes and this and that, and I'm intrigued that the Toymaker actually has an accent, which I would have thought might have been a trope. I didn't think that was allowed. Whereas the original Toymaker didn't have a
no, he was British, wasn't he? He was English with the wonderful Michael Gough, the much missed Michael Gough there,
with our great production team who are reading into every comma of everything so nobody's offended. Obviously, they're not too bothered about Central European people with their
That's very true. That's very true, isn't it? Because he does. What is he? Is he Swiss? Is he German? Is it because of that whole Toymaker type thing? Because as you say there, we had that character Benny Hill played in the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, that classic, beautiful movie. Bavarian. I mean, he was Bavarian, wasn't he? And then you've got Geppetto. So maybe they're playing it like that. Maybe the Toymaker, who we still don't really know much about, has actually taken this form. So we'll have to see about that. And of course, we will be looking at that. I'd like to say hello to everybody in the chat, Brendan. We've got quite a few people in the chat with us. Peter is actually, in response to what I asked him before, he's hesitant but always open till I see, and that's what we've got to do, isn't it? I'd like to say hello to Hida. Nice to see you. I still have faith that these specials will be good, even though I'm sure it will be political and possibly divisive. But to me, if it's entertaining, I don't mind. Listen, it's always divisive now, isn't it? Since that announcement in 2017, Fandom has gone. I mean, Fandom was always a little bit divisive, but not to the extent we're at now. I'm afraid.
Well,
but there we go.
Isn't that a point RTD actually makes? It's a good piece actually from him, actually. I mean, and he has set it in place, because he says another thing, that we've got lots of online raging voices, he said.
All the time. And we contribute to that, don't we? All of us, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas and it's true that in the past, I was aware of DWB Bulletin and arguments with,
You're showing your age now, look.
I am aware of certain big arguments with Fandom over there, but obviously online didn't exist. And so, as he said, if the first Regeneration concept happens, fans just had their little disagreements in their head in their bedroom. That was it. Yeah. Whereas now we can all share, and in a way we can create hysteria. We can all get ourselves down. I was talking to Paul Murray, and he said, he felt down after last night. And I think when we all have critiques,
that's not because of our show, by the way.
But it's when we share critiques, and sometimes critiques that you weren't aware of. I think you can almost feed into that. And
yes, of course, like I said,
I can park most of this week and think tomorrow is the main game, is different, and we start tomorrow.
It's interesting. I mean, everybody comes from this from a different point of view. You're mentioning how it used to be there. I certainly remember in Fandom, especially during the Wilderness years, I was still meeting up with people as well. So yes, you'd read things in Doctor Who Monthly, as it was then, and then became Doctor Who Magazine, or you would read things with your aforementioned DWB, all the other lovely fanzines that were around as well. I think I got a lot of them at the time. I know I got a lot of them at the time. But then you would meet up in the pub or wherever, and then you would agree to disagree. We've lost that particular art, of course, we've got there as well. I'd like to say hello to Carl Connor. Connor's joining us here. Hey guys, seen a few of your streams, not been in the live chat yet. Very hyped for tomorrow. Welcome to Whose Views, Connor. It's lovely to see you. And it's great to hear that you're hyped. I love that term. I'm hyped. That's a new person, a young person's term there, Connor. But I quite like that one. So it's nice to see you. Thank you for it. And Peter's saying here as well, Peter's saying the wild blue yonder, for what little I know, sounds interesting. Well, that's the one they're keeping under wraps, isn't it, Brendan?
That's the one where they even showed you in the magazine redacted for cast names. Yes, well, actually, if you follow it entirely, it had 3 redacted bits for the cast names. He did also say, though, he said, if you're going to get Catherine Tate and David Tennant back, you need, out of the 3 specials, one where it focuses on their dynamic a lot more. So I'm expecting they're going to do a lot of the hard yards with an awful lot of dialogue and action between just the 2 of them, but there are surprises in there. And that little robot in that one that was in one of the posters, that little,
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any of this yet.
That, when you put the 3 posters up of the 3 specials, is it in that second one though?
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what we've got there, and I'll see what we've got. So we've got these here, and where are we looking? Yeah. Oh, the little robot behind them. You mean that one?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Interesting.
This is the big green screen special, because RTD did say about the second one that Peter's talking about. And it's the one I'm most excited about because it's mysterious. He said it's scary, very long corridors, very expensive. They pushed their budget to the limit, he said, in this one. And this was the one, he said, every director, when they were interviewing them or something for the series, the directors all wanted to do this one because it's the most creative and the most impossible to achieve. So it sounds exciting in that way. And I think that the script is, and we get when we were shown the Crotons in the 5 Faces, as a youngster, I loved the Hads. The
Hads, yes, and it's good that they're back, isn't it? We mentioned this in one of the shows recently that they are coming back. But that little robot that you pointed out to there, I saw that on the poster that came out that we've just shown you there, and I immediately thought action figure. That's all that's about. I thought, that's going to be an action figure there as well. Gary Bryant's joined us. I'd like to say hello to Gary. He says, Ncuti Gatwa meeting William Hartnell's first Doctor. That's what everyone keeps saying. It's not. It's David Bradley, for Christ's sake, and the Toymaker is a puppeteer, so the Pinocchio image fits. I think that element there, it does look really good how that fits in there. And those photographs, as I say, Gary, that they've put up there, it does look good. I'm going to give that. I do like those photographs. I think it really does look good.
And we reviewed the Celestial Toymaker in one of our reviews.
We did, yeah.
We did talk about. I mean, he turned people into toys, didn't he, and vice versa. And so the toy shop, which to kids, I mean, this is where it would be scary. So the kids,
I hope so.
Yeah, it's a toy shop. However, we can see it as it's a toy shop with live people imprisoned. So,
well, let's hope so, because when you look at that there, he's got your train set. It's lit beautifully. The carpet's down on it. It does look really, really good. I think that's a great set. And obviously, we're going to come back to that as we talk about that particular episode. But I mean, and I do hope, I really do hope that they are, in this very sensitive age, as we've seen this week, in this very politically correct age, I think it's really, really important actually to scare the kids. As Robert Holmes used to say, let's scare the little buggers. It's healthy. It really is healthy. And I'd be very disappointed if they didn't put some scares into this and if it's all nice, you know what I mean? Talking as we were about Paul there, he's actually left us a video of his expectations. So let's have a look at that now.
Hi everyone. Now my thoughts on the upcoming specials. Well, start off, my expectations really at the moment are I'm looking forward to the Star Beast, particularly because I'm a massive fan of the comic strips. So I love the Star Beast from early Doctor Weekly when it was a comic form at 12 pence, and so I'm looking forward to that the most, and I'm hoping that there'll be a wonderful adaptation of that. And I quite like the idea that Russell T Davies has a good idea of lifting with the first special in the same way they did with Partners in Crime and Smith and Jones. I'm hoping that the first one's quite light, quite fluffy, quite fun, and look forward to seeing the last performance of the lovely Bernard Cribbins as Wilf. In terms of the middle one, I'm kind of not really not doing much about that, but hopefully Paul McGann might be in that one, who knows, and or Carla and Ford. And the last one, I don't know. I mean, the last one's going to hopefully have a bit of a cameo from Shooty in that. So I'm hoping that maybe there'll be a nice introduction to him and a nice farewell to David Tennant, and we'll get into new era from that. But I'm hoping that it doesn't become too preachy, and if it is going to be delivering any messages in the show, that perhaps it'll be a bit more subtle and a bit more not on the nose like it was in the Chibnall era. So I've got high hopes that it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I want it to be good. I want it to be real Doctor Who again, back to what I enjoyed when I was a kid, and have the light touch that Russell used to have in his first series of stories. So I'm looking forward to that. So all the best for the specials, and I look forward to seeing them. So see you soon, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. And it's a good point there, isn't it? As well, if we are going to have messages in the show, don't be hammering us all over, bang, 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 because that's what makes people switch off, and then they go and watch some tacky quiz show.
Well, I'm really going for the positive now. In the Doctor Who magazine, they show you a bit of dialogue from the first one, and of course, people have been triggered by the Rose character. And there's an excerpt that says the Meep says he's all alone, and Rose says, "I know that feeling. Sometimes I think I'm from a different planet." Now, if it's just a deft little line like that, I think we've got no problem, because everybody's been alone at some point, whether you're trans, straight, able-bodied, disabled, it doesn't matter. We all have felt it. So that little line doesn't change the script or the plot or the movie.
It has to be looked at in context, though, doesn't it? We have to. I mean, we will be coming back on that when we look at it, but it is about the context of it. But it's interesting that it was that particular scene that they decided to release. For me, Gary's saying here as well, Meep the Meep is a deliberate attempt to get cuddly animal-loving viewers. Well, if you are aware, as Paul mentioned there, that he is, of course, from the 1979-1980 original Star Beast from Doctor Who Weekly, as it was all those many, many years ago. You're in for a surprise if you think, anyway, ooh, if you've not seen that one, you are in for a little bit of a pleasant surprise, I think. Well, Gary probably knows all about that anyway, but that's great. So, I mean, it's great. What's it? Pete's saying here, Beep the Meep, I hope they keep as it should be in the comic. Exactly what we're trying to talk about there. I would think it would be. I'm quite looking forward to seeing that, aren't you?
Yeah, because RTD does. I mean, actually, I hadn't read his interview up until today, but when I read his interview, he does say that when he wrote Doctor Who in 2005 onwards, he always used the Star Beast in his head. It had such an influence on his writing. And I think he did say in the actual interview that he's keeping it as an authentic, proper retelling of that story.
Well, I hope so, because it's a classic story. It really is. I mean, we've done a review of the comic of the Star Beast here on the channel. Go and have a look at it in the reviews playlist if you haven't seen it yet. It's one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites, and I've got it on several different formats here. You've got the original weeklies, and then I've got it in the anthologies and the recent Fourth Doctor anthology as well. And it's just like, I never tire of it. And as I said in the review, when I went back to read it after a little break, loved it even more, but forgotten. At this age now, it's actually quite short, and I got through it very, very quickly. But the story is so concise and so brilliant and so contemporary. And I think it's actually fantastic that they've chosen this one to launch this 60th anniversary special, because it's also acknowledging the importance of Doctor Who weekly, monthly magazine, in the life of the show as well. It's quite nice, isn't it?
And because it's based on comic strip, I know we all read it at a certain age, so to speak, but RTD does obsess about getting the kids, and that's what he needs to do. You get the kids in, and a comic strip character looking as cuddly as that, I know, looking as cuddly as that, and it is a toy in the making, and I'm sure the merchandise is hovering around this.
Well, they're talking about that in the chat. Connor is saying, I think if they really want to sell toys of Beep the Meep, I'm half thinking they might keep Beep the Meep as a good character, but he's not read this 1979 comic. Oh, well, the thing is there, you must. And then don't do it until after tomorrow then. Go and have a look at it. Have a look at our reviews on that as well, Connor, because you will love that. And when you've seen the episode and you go and talk about us the comic strip, you'll definitely want to see the comic strip, I'll tell you. And in response to that, Pete's saying, yes, I do hope there's a figure for Christmas. Well, the new range, I think, is coming I think I heard it was in the new year, early in the new year. So I don't know. Nothing's been announced on that one, but you know what gossip's like. Everybody there. Yeah. So that was brilliant. Though. But yeah, it's going to be it's going to be interesting tomorrow, isn't it? I have to say, from me as well. The importance for me about these specials, and this may sound really pedantic, but I am a fan. But if it's to earn this logo, this reiteration has to be superb, because for me this logo is so important. This logo stands for quality, great science fiction drama, accessible, fun, energetic, an incredible Doctor in the form of Tom Baker, wonderful companions, Sarah Jane Smith, Harry Sullivan, the Brig, Leela, K9, Romana. It brings back so many happy memories, and you know, I'm so glad that logo is back, but I really want the quality to go with it, because I'll be a bit upset on this show if they do anything to harm it. I tell you, it's got to be good quality. Does that make sense?
I mean, it does, but he's pitching it right. He said this should be like a bank holiday family show, the first one, doesn't it?
Let's hope so then, yeah.
And you know, when I look at the list, you look at the cast list. It's a strong cast list. Good director. I mean, Rachel Talalay's done a fair few, hasn't she?
Yeah, you've got
the Beep the Meep character, which and you know, the production values are up, the budget's up, the visual effects are up. Murray Gold's back. You know, when you think of the team coming back, they do know what they're doing.
You hope.
And it does make sense that the first one of the three is a big family epic. By the way, on ITV is Harry Potter the movie, so they've got that.
Oh, I love them. I love those films. I've seen them millions of times. I love them.
So they do new. I mean, just like when he brought the series back in 2005, he knew he had to be fast and colourful because he was up against Ant and Dec. And this time, whether he guessed he was up against Harry Potter, but actually this is quite right. So. To have the Star Beast versus Harry Potter, yeah, that kind of thing. The second week, I'm intrigued, and I like the fact that we're going to scare, like we said. And then the third one, the giggle, with this great villain coming back. And he said he needed somebody from the 60s, a villain from the 60s, to bring the 60 years together. But we all know about the Toymaker, the original idea, and RTD is a fan and he knows his stuff. He hasn't just brought him back because he needed the 60s character. Otherwise, he could have had me back, the Time Meddler. So what he's done is he's got because you know, he can regenerate a Doctor. He can change their face. And have you got a nasty feeling that the David Tennant 14th Doctor could end up at the end of the episode as a doll?
I don't know, actually. I haven't really thought much about how the 14th is going to become the 15th. Anything could happen in this.
Can you imagine that, to stretch poor David Tennant's acting to the limit, that he ends up being trapped forever and he creates a new Doctor? Because there is an alternative pathway thing going on here, isn't there? He does refer, he says very, very briefly, and I like the way he says very, very briefly, to Flux and Timeless Children. So whether he just mentions it as in he's changing everything, and remember, he's a toy maker. It's going to be like the 5 Doctors, I think.
Well, let's have a look at that. We've got in the chat here. I'd like to say hello to Grumpy Old Bob 56. Hello, everybody. Like you, JT, I'm not excited about the show. Maybe it's my age as well. I will be here in America tomorrow afternoon watching it, and I hope to enjoy it. Nice to see you, Grumpy Old Bob. Thank you for your contribution there. Gary is also saying, just hope Tennant doesn't keep saying so sorry every 5 minutes. Oh, I hope so too, because that does get back. And Connor is saying, first episode seems like a welcoming family, want to get back on track, and then the real... Yeah, so-and-so going down in 2 and 3. We've got a special guest just about to join us right now. He's on the move as well, actually, live over in Australia. Here's Java being himself. It's Michael. Where are you?
G'day, guys. How are you? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can. Where are you?
It's like 5 in the morning, so I couldn't
Are you out for a jog?
Well, out for a wander, but my wife's asleep, so
Oh. Well, I love this. Look, where are you? Where are you on this Who Eve?
Where am I geographically?
Yeah.
An undisclosed location. I'm in a mangrove swamp, actually, funnily enough.
Oh, well. This reminds me of Walking Handbag.
It's
I
very
know roughly
Australian.
where Michael is. I know roughly where Michael is because he told me ages ago. But
Yeah, all right. Don't dox me. Don't dox
I
me.
won't. Michael, have we found you live after the Daleks in Colour that you're wandering around homeless and needing help from a doctor? What's happening?
I actually feel like I'm on Scaro. Some of this. Look at that. Look at that. No. I just thought I'd pop in, and because I felt a bit down after our little stream yesterday. I thought I felt like I was getting a bit too down because I'm a bit apathetic these days about it. So I apologise for that. But I just
Don't be
wanted
silly.
to say
You were absolutely fine. Tell him, who viewers. Tell him he was fine. We had a laugh yesterday, especially with the problematic game. It was fun.
I know. A bit on it, like Brendan said, on a positive note. I hope everyone enjoys it, and I hope it's a return to form, and people. I hope people get something out of it. So I just wanted to wish you all the best and good luck.
Yeah, we've got a message for you from Gary. He says, "Struth, it's neighbours."
No, mate, neighbours doesn't film here. They film in a cul-de-sac in Melbourne.
I love the way he's looking around in case there's any crocodiles going, because I have seen pictures. He sent me pictures of these crocodiles near where he lives, and they are terrifying.
No, you're all right as long as you stay 5 meters away from the water.
Yeah. So, from our point of view for this show, are you going to be looking at it at all, or are you going to hear what the rest of us say about it, or are you just not going to bother?
I'm going to watch the reviews first. I'm going to see what you guys have to say and see what others have to say. I mean, I haven't watched the show for a long time. I just, no political reason. I just wasn't engaging me story wise, and it's behind a paywall here, as we keep saying. So
that's the problem.
I'm just sort of sorry. I'm not very centered there. It's not the first time I've not been centered. But So look, I'm okay to let it all cool down and maybe have a look later. If you guys come back on next week and say, "Oh my God, this is amazing," then I'll watch it down the track. But I'm not bothered by spoilers and things like that.
But of course, Michael will still be joining. You'll still be joining us for some of the old proper Doctor Who stuff, won't you, as well? We've got lots planned there.
Yeah. I can talk about the classic show all day long. I just picked up Dominic Glynn's Survival remixes. Oh my God, so good.
I know, isn't it good? And if you want to know more about that, plug, then go over to the Merchandise Paradise playlist and you can have a look at my interview with Dominic. He tells us all about his new Survival remixes, which is out today here on the 24th. You can get it, download it now. All the information's on the show with him. But we are going to do a review of that, aren't we, Michael? Because
I'm looking forward to it.
Goosebumps thinking about that, I tell you.
I loved it. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get into it now, but
no, we'll get into that another time. Yeah,
but
we'll make them come back.
No, look, I hope these episodes, like Brendan said, I'm interested to see what the second one is like. I'll be interested to see if certain actors pop up. I mean.
Yeah, that's what Paul was just saying there on the video he did for us as well. And no one's ever going to leave Paul McGann alone. The poor fella. The stress must be awful for him, because even all these years after, 20-odd years after the one night only Doctor, as we used to call him, everybody still wants him back in. And it must be nice, but it must be stressful for him. Although there was a rumour, as Paul mentioned there, about Carol Ann Ford appearing in something as well. I mean, we just have to wait and see, don't we? But you'll get spoilt when we all start and the internet starts.
Oh, I don't mind. That doesn't worry me. To be honest, I'd prefer that, because I've had so many experiences watching it over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
That when the certain narrative choices are made, you think, oh, and I'd rather know about it in advance.
Yeah, that's fair enough. JFO is in the chat with us here, guys, and he's saying, I wonder if Bernard Cribbins will be in tomorrow's episode.
Oh, I hope so.
Let's hope so. And Pete's agreeing with that and saying, I'm sure there will be a dedication for Bernard tomorrow before the show starts. I think so too. I mean, we spoke about this on Diamond Day, didn't we? Yesterday, we did see him filming. He was in a wheelchair. We did see him filming, and it was just literally weeks before the British legend that he was actually passed on. And I would love to see him in these episodes somewhere. I would have the feeling it might be in the third episode. I don't know. Who knows? But it'd be great to see. If we see him, I mean, that'd be his last work as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
It's important, really, because he meant so much to us not just in Doctor Who, but we grew up with him, of course, a certain age group.
Fawlty Towers.
Yeah. Heather is saying here, I can't believe it's been 2 years since RDD was announced to be coming back. That's what you were saying at the top of the show, wasn't it, Brendan? But
yeah, long time.
It's gone quick. It's gone whoosh.
And that's another positive. RTD is very well aware of that. We're hoping he's got the first series sussed, and therefore the second series already written is therefore sussed. So therefore, he doesn't want the gaps anymore. It's been a long gap. We've had enough gaps in the 60 years as Doctor Who fans. We've had long gaps, and I've had enough of it. That when Colin Baker's Doctor was better, that was a long 18 months, I remember. Then we had
yeah, we were only kids. That was even longer.
Well, it was, there were other reasons for that, though. As well. I don't remember the gaps so much because, of course, when we were kids in the 70s with Tom, the thing seemed to be on all the time. And when the summer break was on, if you were lucky, we would get the omnibus editions. But we were too busy at the seaside or being taken out or messing in the dirt as kids. I always remember the anticipation for September because in August, of course, you got the trailers of the thing come back. And this is what I mean about the 18, because we've had certain trailers now, but they're not as, for me, and it probably is just where I am now in my life, they're not as special. Yeah, they're all glitzy, glam, wham, bang, bangs, CGI, big music.
You don't like the modern. You didn't like the modern trailer.
My favourite trailer is the Destiny of the Daleks one, where Tom's in that fake ground like you are, and he comes out the TARDIS. There's a voice, isn't there? There's a voice going, you're going to face the Daleks again, but we're going to wipe your memory now, so you can't remember.
Yes,
there's
indeed.
a sign on the door saying back on September the whatever. That's my favourite one.
Yeah.
Look at these.
I'd say the production quality of the new specials looks pretty. We've got to give credit to that. Like the tech crews,
definitely.
All the people, the working people who are putting this thing together. I mean, technically, it looks stunning.
It does really. It does.
And he did say for that mystery second one, he said that Neil Gorton's prosthetics were off the scale amazing. So you think, what's going on? Like you said, the budget. He said, I think he said he was always aware of the budget when he made it before and on other shows. And he said the budget for that second one, they really have pushed it. And he said the amount of green screen we use and the quality there. So yeah, it's the first one I think should be safe, and I think it will be family, But second one, I think he's going to push the boundaries. I really do, and that'd be great.
Well, we'll soon see. I tell you, going back to what we were saying about the comic strip as well, I love the look of this lot, the Roth Warriors. That is so faithful to the original. Obviously, they've had to take some liberties in getting the things physical, but they are very faithful to what was in the comic strip, and I think they look absolutely fabulous. I'm really looking forward to seeing them.
And the meat looks good too. I mean, it's and I like Miriam Margolyes's performance in that clip. I thought she sounded good.
She certainly did, though. She did. Yeah, we've got. Hello, Garbage has joined us in the chat. Hello, Garbage. How are you, mate? Nice to see you. David, according to Hida, was a childhood doctor. Well, you see, that really makes me feel really quite old. Thanks for that.
Oh no, I hate it when people say things like that.
I know, it really shows you, doesn't it? Yeah, but we've got young ones coming in out of the ones that were young when David was the doctor. And I hate it
when you see production photos of people that work on the show, and then you see them at an exhibition in 2008, and they're little kids, and you think, "Oh my god,
what's happening?"
I'm even getting nostalgic because we are the original three who started the first program on Whose Views, and here we are, much more kind of.
Don't get emotional. Don't get emotional.
Talking about things I don't understand.
Michael, three of us are back on the eve of it all coming back. Wow.
It's almost like an anniversary celebration, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, it's all good that because we've got lots coming up for you. Because of course tomorrow, as we're talking about here, this is the eve of another reiteration, another era of Doctor Who. Whether we like it or not, it's happened. It's going to happen. There's things going on, and we're going to be here all the way to bitch about it and to discuss it and agree and not agree.
It's an interesting thing. Like, there's a lot of people getting worked up about it and upset about things, and I think. You get to a point where it's like, okay, look, if you are like that, if you can let go of it and go, okay, well, look, worst case scenario, I've got some other content I can choose to watch or not watch.
Well, we've got 26 years of the original show, haven't we?
I'm trying to put a positive. Yeah, I'm trying to put a positive spin on it.
I like that. But here we go, because we're going to be doing this tomorrow. We're going to be looking at all three episodes coming up over the next few Sundays, starting this Sunday. and we're going to be doing Whose Views reviews on each of them. So please make sure that you've liked, you subscribed. When the shows drop, give yourself a reminder, make sure about this, and come and join us live every Sunday evening when we talk about these. We want to know what your views are on all this as well. It's really important to us. And come and join the chat, and come and join, hopefully, what will be quite fun discussions, because we do everything here with a little bit of a twinkle in our eyes. We may get heated at times, but that's what it's all about.
It's fun. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we're just excited about a show that we grew up with, and sometimes when decisions are made and they don't fit with what we're used to, we get a little irritated. I mean, it's a sign of passion. The thing that they shouldn't have a problem with people getting passionate about this show, because the biggest enemy is apathy.
Yes.
If people didn't care and were like, "Oh, I don't give a shit," pardon me, sorry, shouldn't swear. Then they've got a real problem. But if people are railing against it, it's still some passion being ignited somewhere.
Oh, totally. Talking about the Roth Warriors, we've got Pete here. Pete is saying, "I do like their angled legs and red eyes. It's another future B&M figure. It's another future character options figure. Whether I'm sure they will be in B&M, Pete, but I don't think they'll be exclusive to B&M. We don't know yet. We're still waiting to hear the details of what's going to happen in the future. But I reckon they might try and get them into other shops as well to try and really, really push the publicity for the show on that angle as well. There. So,
do you think all these specials will have a bearing on the classic Blu-ray releases, because they've gone real quiet, haven't they?
The classic Blu-ray releases are very, very quiet. We've only had one, haven't we? We've had the 20th anniversary one, and we've had none of the standard editions.
Yeah, right.
So who knows? We have to wait. I hope not. Personally, I'm hoping not. And we've had a little chat about this as well. Personally, I'm hoping they haven't. But it does seem very strange that everything's gone quiet when.
There's going to be some very talk about passionate fans. There's going to be a huge anger if everyone's shelves are all inconsistent.
Although I'd hate to see them stop, because the boxes are great. They're still filming stuff. We know that, so we just have to wait and see.
Cool.
So we just have to wait and see what the announcements
beautifully
are.
done. Sorry, I digressed on the Blu-rays.
Yeah, Michael, a lot of people, you'll have seen them. A lot of fans are talking about season 15, aren't they? That seems to be what people put money. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Well, what season are we going into now on the modern version? Oh, it's season 1 again, isn't it? They're taking it right back to series 1. That says an awful lot about all this too.
Isn't it?
Well, it says an awful lot. It is that reboot switch, isn't it? It's the repress switch. I mean, as I said last night on Diamond Day, I've got the feeling that this is what Russell possibly should have done back in 2004, 2005, but his fan instinct wouldn't allow him. So if we start seeing characters being recreated, if we start seeing a new continuity coming in, that's where I would have, I think he should have done that right. Because had that happened, had in 2004, 2005, it had been a reset, Doctor One, Day One, as it were, we would never have fallen out at all as fans. You would have had the ability to say, that series isn't for me. I've still got 26 years. That's that one. There wouldn't have been any fuss about a female lead. There wouldn't have been any fuss about re-engineering the Time Lords, whatever they did to it. There wouldn't have been any fuss about that timeless thing he did. So maybe this is his way of saying, right, okay, forget all that, just like he did the first time round.
I think, what do you think, Michael? I would love this, that the Toymaker has the ability to put the Doctor in an alternative pathway, and all the old Doctors end up being little dolls, and they're trapped as toys. And
you just want the toys.
Yeah.
That's all he wants. That's all he wants. And they'll probably be about 1999.
Doctors.
Yeah, 1999 each they were here. Grumpy old Bob is talking to us here in the chat as well. He's saying, here in America, season 20 still doesn't have a release date, and the Underwater Menace animation doesn't come out until January. That's very same across the world, actually. Grumpy old Bob 56, because I mean, outside the UK, it just hasn't happened at all.
Sorry, Grumpy, because I'm on to part 3 of Underwater Menace, and that'll get me even more grumpy. It must be so frustrating being out of the UK at this point.
It's quite frustrating being in the UK at times at the moment as well. Connor's saying here it's strange, but also how did she come about the name Rose? It's a bit unusual. If she was born a boy, she would surely have chosen the name Rose. Oh, that's going towards Rose Noble, isn't it? I reckon on that particular one, Connor, what happened there is obviously Rose has been in Donna's mind. For whatever, it's a residual. Yeah. Gary's saying here, as over, very to the point. Thank you so much, Gary. We must accept that RDT and his team are going for the youth audience, so they brainwash them. Oh, sorry, educate them about diversity. Well, that's that. Yes, I mean that's what one of my great fears about it. But it's a face that, unfortunately, British television is like that. You can't even switch a commercial on now without having this stuff slapped in the face with you now as well. And he just goes, they're calling it Series 1, but they're still calling it Shooty the 15th Doctor. This is my point. I mean, if Russell's inbuilt fan thing that we all have, he can't switch that element off. He has to keep retaining it, like he did with Eccleston's Doctor. That was number 9, when he could have quite easily said, no, that's number 1. There's a thing that we have as fans that's like everything must tie up, when it doesn't necessarily. If you're gonna really change it.
The beginning of that was of that trend was Darth Vader made C-3PO. That was the beginning, wasn't it? Everything's connected.
Oh yeah, and the Phantom Menace. That one, I remember sitting in the cinema on that one and going,
everything has to be connected. Yeah.
What? Garbage is quite right on this particular comment. Tomorrow is make or break. It's not just tomorrow as well, is it, mate? It's going to be basically as we go through the 3, then we've got the Christmas Day one, and then it comes back in March. That's where it's going to look.
The big thing is, I was aware in 2005 when I had less doubts, but lots of nerves.
Sorry, silly.
I was aware in 2005. Jamie will tell you that I was racing around Birmingham at the time where I lived, looking into everybody. Look, are they watching Doctor Who? Are they watching Doctor Who? Because in the end, it's the blooming ratings.
You're going to get arrested for saying things like that.
Like all apartments, we were staying at the apartments opposite. But the thing is, the truth is, it could be the highest quality piece of work ever, but if nobody's watching it, it's the ratings that will count.
That's the problem. If you don't get the British, and I know fans don't like me saying this, and a certain set of fans either, but if you do not get, it's true, if we don't get the British public tuning in every single week, there's no show. There's just no show, because why would the BBC show some? We've had examples of certain BBC shows quietly disappearing because the ratings have gone under a certain thing. They would certainly want to keep Doctor Who going and going, because the BBC know they've got something there, but as usual, they're not sure necessarily what. And, they've handed it over to somebody who says he and they can do something. But, it's a real case. The way I look at it is the BBC are trusting. They're very trusting, and they're very trusting certain people to do things for them because they don't really necessarily understand it.
You always said, JT, that you think they have an approximate figure of the ratings for tomorrow's show, and it sounds too high to me. If they,
I know. Well, I knew a while ago, or I'd been told a while ago, there were high hopes for what this thing could do. But yeah, as I keep pointing out, this thing was filmed last year, and Russell says society moves on. It doesn't necessarily move the way he thinks it has from his perception, and certain aspects have moved on since they filmed all these episodes, but maybe I would argue not necessarily the way he would hope. We've got some great chat here from everybody. Nice to see you all. We've actually also got Michael. Are you going to leave us? Are you going driving off home?
Oh, I had to get in the car because the mosquitoes were getting a bit thick.
Oh. Right, okay, fair enough. Because we do have another video from a friend of ours over in America, which I'm going to play now. And this is more hopes and fears from the
wonderful. For my bed hair too. I've just seen.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning over there.
Yeah.
So from the wonderful Chester Worthington over at Chester's Reviews, this is his hopes and fears.
Ooh.
Oh, come on.
Well, I'll brief.
I can't wait to see what RTD and the team have cooked up for us this time around. I'm really hoping for a return to an era of the show where I could sit down and, even if the story itself isn't that great, I know that I won't be bored. RTD usually had a pretty good balance of high-energy adventure and memorable moments of emotion just to keep you interested the whole time. And with RTD having been away for a while, I would only imagine that he's grown in his craft. And I'm looking forward to seeing if that leads to even better scripts. The Star Beast is a great idea for a story, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing it being adapted well onto the screen. I believe RTD has said that Wild Blue Yonder, the second story, was going to be scary. I hope so. I hope I'm scared by it. I don't get scared by Doctor Who very often. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever been scared of Doctor Who, so it'd be nice to have my own behind-the-sofa moment. As for the giggle, I'm hoping it'll be a great return for the Toymaker. He's a villain with such great potential, and casting Neil Patrick Harris in the role just seems like a delight. I hope he has a good musical number or two. Speaking of returning characters, we do seem to have a lot of them in these episodes, and I hope there are even more we don't know about, but I also hope the story doesn't become overstuffed. Whenever one packs a script for an anniversary special or something and throws a bunch of fan service in there, there's always the danger that said fan service can overtake the story. Having said that though, this is the 60th anniversary and we do need some fan service. I also, however, don't want the fan service to make it inaccessible to new viewers. Part of me does fear that with these specials airing on Disney Plus, we may have the potential for a TV movie situation. In order for the new Whoniverse to succeed, they need to pull new viewers in. But that's not going to work if they bog it down with so much continuity that said new viewers can't really understand it or follow it. One last thing I could mention, I don't want to just see a reset button for Donna at the end. In his previous era when RTD brought back previous companions, they practically got the same ending. Rose went back to her alternate universe, Donna went back to forgetting everything at the end of time. I want a different, satisfactory ending for Donna. I'm not sure what it is, but like I say, I just want it to be a satisfying ending that changes things but fits with what came before. Oh, and hopefully a happy one? Maybe, please? Either way, I'm just mainly hoping for a good time watching some new Doctor Who that's funny, exciting, sad, and everything in between. Thanks for having me on, JT, and I can't wait to hear what everybody else's hopes and fears are for the 60th anniversary, and I can't wait for the 60th anniversary in general. Till next time, goodbye.
Thank you,
very
Chester.
balanced. Yeah.
Yeah, Chester. I have to say that was Chester Worthington from Chester's Reviews. You can find his channel. Do give him a like and subscribe. I have to say that in those moments when I'm feeling a little bit blue myself, I go and look at Chester because he always cheers me up with his optimism and his youthful expression. And you know, I just love it, and it's one of my favorite channels. TARDIS Spider has joined us also from America. Hello, TARDIS Spider. Nice to see you, Terry. And he says, "Wow, Chester, that was in depth." It was brilliant, wasn't it? It was absolutely fantastic. Pete's giving Chester a round of applause there. Quite right too. And again, thanks, Chester. Lovely to see you. I can't wait to get you back on the show for another chit chat after it's all happened. Because I'm going to be
interesting what he said about the reset, wasn't it? My prediction. Can I make a prediction?
Yes.
I reckon they'll kill her. I kind of hope they do, because they need to have consequences. You know,
Michael,
like you said, the reset button is always used. And
Michael, you can guess what I'm going to say. They'll make her into a doll. She'll be trapped.
Yeah. You're just obsessed with the dolls, aren't you? No.
He wants another Donna model. There's only been one.
Good point. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, actually, that might be what they'll do. They'll put her aside, like she'll be in a pocket universe as a doll or something. Who knows?
Well, he said he's really. I mean, I know he's right. RTD said you've got two of the best actors around. He wants to push them to the limit, and in the giggle, he says he maximizes their acting ability. So, you know, it's a bit like that Barusa moment in the Five Doctors when he's trapped in the vault. You know, I mean, you know, we Doctor Who fans that sort of controversy is good. I mean, what he did to Donna the first time, fans really hated that when he took her memories away. What he did to the Prime Minister, Harriet Jones, we all hated that, and he rectified it. But I think sometimes you need to kill off Adric, and you need to do something that gets everybody talking.
Well, speaking of talking, TARDIS Spider is saying here, Michael, Donna dead? That would be a grabber, making the series more adult, maybe. Well, he has gone on record recently saying it's not for kids. We're going to be talking about that on Sunday morning, though, because I think it's been taken out a bit of context, really, what's there. And I'd like to say hello and welcome to Rini Crawley. Hello, all. I'm a newbie here, but looking forward to tomorrow. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to Who's Views. Yes, keep chatting to us because we want to know exactly what you're thinking. So it's delighted. And everybody's welcoming you to the chat as well. But I'm so glad you're excited for tomorrow. Actually, I'm starting to get a little bit more interested now. Thank you to everybody in the chat here for giving me those vibes that are coming up here now.
Going in with an open mind.
Well, that's what you've got to do.
If I said to both of you, right, RTD's back, Murray Gold's back, blah, 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 and Tennant's back, which story from the original RTD era would you love him to emulate?
The Satan Pit.
In terms of tone?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, something that's successful and grabs the audience. Which one would you go for?
For me, it's the Satan Pit because I found that absolutely. I thought they were brilliant. Apart from the Rose character, which was getting on my nerves at that point, but that's fine. I thought the script there was wonderful. I love the direction. I love the setting. I love the threat, the unknown threat that was down the pit. And it wasn't a green blob this time either, was it? It was a great big horned devil there, you know, wonderful stuff. I also loved the way that they very, in my opinion, cleverly played on the religious aspect of this. Oh, there's a devil in all mythologies, in all worlds, in all times, in all places. Because when you think about that, that is true. And that's never going to go away, you know? Amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Toby,
Sorry.
sorry, Mike. I'll only be a second. That Toby looked very in, and the pathos when that poor woman went into space. Sorry, that was it, Michael. Sorry.
No, you're right. It's your show, man. What were you saying? Yeah, that episode, JT. I loved the tone of that in this, and that's the sort of tone I'd love to see emulated. That and the Family of Blood. But the thing about the one you mentioned, JT, is that it left you thinking, it left you questioning. I love stories that leave you pondering and wondering. They're not resolved necessarily.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'd love to see a bit of unresolved storytelling.
It's very difficult when they've got a short-lived Doctor here, though. He's only doing 3 hours. Now, 3 hours, that's actually to get a lot of story in. And, of course, we now know they're not necessarily connected. So Donna gets her memory back. We know that tomorrow. And then off they go through time and space again. But it's actually, because it's that short-lived thing, because we do know, and this is one of the big things about the special, we do know that in the special, at the end of episode 3, this gentleman turns up. Ncuti Gatwa makes his appearance. Now, the rumor is that he gets at least 20 minutes of the last episode to establish himself. Now, that wouldn't surprise me if that rumor is true, everybody, because what they've got to do is they've got to bring the audience back from, and you know, they've got to bring him back from that last episode to Christmas Day. Now, luckily, because they've been quite clever here, they haven't given us it in November, really. They've started at the end of November, so we go into December. So the audience, the public, the great British public, don't have to wait that long to see the new Doctor. It's only, a couple of weeks before Christmas Day happens, which is a Monday this year, I think it is. So it's still, for those that watch, it's still going to be retained. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does get quite a chunk of the last episode to get them saying, right, here he is. Please come back and see what happens next. So I'm expecting a cliffhanger at the end of the giggle as well. And I hope it's a good one.
They'll take the Ncuti toy and animate him, and then it'll be a mini twin dilemma, except he won't strangle anybody, so that we look forward to what he's like at Christmas.
I reckon the Regeneration will be unlike any we've ever seen.
I hope so. I hope it's a little bit dramatic.
I'm sick of that orange.
No.
I can't see them get rid of that. It would be nice.
I don't mean in terms of special effects. I think in terms of implications and the storytelling moving forward. I think it's going to be slightly...
Well, again, it's going to have to be dramatic, Michael, because they're going to want people to come back from that last episode where Tennant bows out, introducing this guy that, let's face it, 98% of the British public have no idea who this fella is. You know, he's just rocking up, isn't he? Really, they've got no clue who he is. No, I know. You know, even some of our fellow fans haven't really a clue.
So you think David Tennant will be there to edify him?
Well, it's like an endorsement, really, and we all know why Tennant's back. Let's face it, Tennant has come back. He's been brought back, A, because they had a great time, but B, it's to get the viewers back. Let's face it, after what's been going on. I mean, it's common sense to do that. And add take to it, add take to that. You know, come on, let's do that. And then you go into another newbie to the majority of the British public. Certainly anybody over the age of 26, 27 years old won't really know who this guy is. So it's a brave move for them, but they're going to have that. So I reckon the ending of the giggle will have to have some sort of impact to be able to say, and you've got to come back. And let's see if that works for them. We've got some great stuff here. Heather is saying here, The Waters of Mars was like a horror movie. That was actually a really good one as well. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's a great one. Yeah, you're right there. I forgot about that.
I was going to mention that because Donna had her moment, and then we had a couple of specials, and The Waters of Mars as a standalone episode, that was really, really strong.
It really was. Gary's saying there as well, no such thing as a newbie. We're born Doctor Who fans. Well, we have had that conversation in my life somewhere in the past. Garbage is saying 3 hours is a small amount of time. It really is. The rumours are Tennant will be there at the same time as Ncuti. Oh,
yeah. I've heard.
Right. Yeah, I think it's right.
Brendan, you sent me some stuff.
Go on.
No. I remember you sent me some stuff, Brendan, that was potentially spoilerific, and thought, oh, interesting. I'm not going to mention it. Don't worry, fans.
Well, I mean, this is the thing about it. We don't know, and if they are interacting there again, it's solidifying the two Doctor element with the public. And I will always go on about the Great British Public. I know other people don't like me talking about it, and I've been criticised about it, but the Great British Public are more important than fandom, in a sense, because it's got to entice them. And as I say, without the Great British Public backup, no show. So it's lovely that it's going to be a case of, if there are two Doctors in frame there, and there's something to do with a different sort of time, with your point, Michael, a different sort of handover. Let's see. Connor is also saying here, that's interesting. By the way, for dear viewer. No, we don't know anything. I mean, it's a really close set. Nobody knows anything, really. I thought he might be more involved, says Connor, than just the last scene, Regeneration. It sounds like it could be. I mean, he's saying, yep, that's a fact. Gary's
it could be a
Watcher
type
saying,
situation.
Well, who knows? I mean, I always love the Watcher. And Tardy Spider is saying here a good thread. It really is.
I can imagine
saying, if Tennant and Ncuti are together, would be nice touches. The two Doctors, a Watcher-style projection, and Tennant's Doctor slowly fading. Maybe it's something to do with time or something. Who knows?
Well, I did see a screen grab from that Children in Need thing where he says something about the timelines breaking.
Well, that was also to introduce the whole Davros Gate affair, wasn't it? Really?
No, I don't know. I think there's more to it than that. I think there's.
Oh, there is more to it. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's all up in the air now. Everything can be rewritten now, as far as Russell's concerned. Everything can be rewritten.
But I mean, but I think he's giving it a narrative reason.
Yes, maybe. Well, the timeline's imploded.
Like the Eternals or something. Or the Guardians. I mean, he's above everything. So.
Well, we know he brings the flux into it in episode 2, doesn't he? So maybe that's had more of a damage than, I don't know what that is because I haven't watched it, but I would imagine from the sound of it that could have done some more damage than we expect.
Bringing the what in? Sorry, the what?
The flux thing from the Chibnall era. He's apparently that's getting mentioned in episode 2. But again, we're going to be there to watch it. We're going to be there to talk about it. We're going to stay actually in Michael's neck of the woods right now as well.
Oh no.
Yeah, we are, because another one of our friends here is Michael. Is Mark. There's too many M's. Is Mark, who was recently here in the UK doing a lovely whistle-stop tour of the UK. And he visited as many sort of Doctor Who locations as he possibly could. I was even lucky enough to catch up with him as well. He has done us a Visitations, which is coming onto the channel in December, so watch out for that. But here he is with his hopes and expectations for these up-and-coming specials.
60th anniversary from the Who Cave and my little friend over here. Well, the 3 specials. My expectations from these is that we get a bit of reinvigoration back into Doctor Who again, that the storytelling is done well, and that we all gain the interest back again that we once had. We're all fans from different areas and different periods. I'm a classic fan, but I am still looking forward to see what the storytelling has to come forward, and bringing back David Tennant. Bit of a draw card for those who had got back into the Who in the early 2000s. The hopes from this, I guess, are that it continues on with the good storytelling and draws in new fans, gives it more popularity, a little bit more money to spend on some of the special effects and things, but we still want to stick with that traditional storytelling, I guess, and hope that we can get some good stories told. Well, fears. I guess the big thing that's on everyone's lips is how are these 3 specials going to go, and what is it going to bring to Who, and the potential future of Who, and which way is it going to go. My fear is that the 3 specials come out and it's not to our expectations. And where do we go from there? Does Doctor Who all of a sudden start to disappear again? I really hope not. I'm excited to see what these specials will bring and what the future will hold. Hopefully we get some good writers and some good storytelling along the way. So I'll still hold out hope for Doctor Who, but again, I'm an old classic fan. So Doctor Who will always be in my heart no matter what.
Thank you, Mark. You know, Mark and I are on more or less the same page there. I know exactly what he's talking about, you know, and it's going to be, it's going to be very interesting to see how this all unfolds and where it's going to go in the future and what they're up to. Go on.
he won't break the toys and the canon and everything in the 3 specials because he'll want to tee up.
You and your
You
toys,
heard
Brendan.
him say that, everybody. You heard him say that. He already has done on Children in Need.
He also says in the interview though, and I can understand this. He says the Disney effect or the Disney influence comes through the Shooty series, and they left him a bit freer with these 3. So these should
because
be.
I think the deal was signed as these were in production, weren't they? They were actually, I think they were physically filming here when they got there. Yeah, I mean, one day I would love to read about what happened with all these deals, because apparently, according to what I'm reading, it didn't have to be Disney. It could have been any of these big networks that we know about now as well, including Netflix, etc., etc. And he's made it clear it could have been any of them. So what was it that the BBC liked about Disney, and what clinched the deal? One of these days, we all know as Doctor Who fans, and I've said this before, we get to know everything eventually. It could take 10, 15, 20 years, but we do know. I just hope I get to know about that before I die. Let's have a look. I want to say hello to Jack. Let's be honest, it's just going to suck, isn't it? Who knows? Jack, make sure you're back with us on Sunday night when we do the review. Jack is always down to earth and to the point. Come and give us your review, Jack, please. With you at 7 o'clock on Sunday, we'll be back here to do all that. And Garbage is saying to Mark, we want to be entertained, Mark, not preached to. We know the message. Just please, RTD, entertainment. Like, I can't disagree with that. We just want to be entertained.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. Yeah. Reni's saying to Jack, I hope not. Connor's saying to Jack, I have to see it, mate. The build-up has been dodgy. Yes, you're quite right there, Connor. But there's defo reason to believe it could be really good as well. I love that. That is a balance. Yes, Gary's having a nice little turn here. Tom Baker as a godlike entity turns up and sorts everything out. Wouldn't that be amazing? I would wet myself, Gary. I would wet myself if that.
What do you call this rubbish?
Exactly. What's this chicken whippet shit?
I'll never forget when I saw Tom at a con in the UK, and somebody asked him, "What other doctors do you like?" He was, "Other doctors, other doctors."
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the brilliant thing about Tom. He's always been like that, hasn't he? He's always had, and it's been this. We're going to be talking about it again on Sunday. It's been in the press this week as well from the Radio Times interview. He treats the others with a healthy contempt. Tom,
do you know
it's
what?
So brilliant. He's an Aquarian as well, so that would count for much.
As Matthew Waterhouse once said, Tom is not a fake. You know where you stand with him, and that's what I love about him.
It really is. It really is. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot I think that we've got to look forward to. Go on.
No. It's just I remember the character options figure of Tom came out at that con, and I said to him, I got my signature, and I said, I just saw your action figure for the first time, and it's a good likeness. And he said, and he did that laugh. He did the whole, and he said, I'm sure I'm getting paid for that somewhere.
He is such a fabulous man. We love him to bits, don't we? It's brilliant. Well, listen, guys, that's it. This is, I mean, what a show. Thank you very much. And thank you for everybody that's tuned in and come into the chat. Thank you, chat. It's been great to see you. I think I'm feeling a little bit better. It'll
be good. It'll be great. I'm going to watch your review tomorrow night, and it's going to be, oh my God, Doctor Who's.
Well, I'll just point out, if you're in the UK, it's not on Saturday night.
I'll be clicking on Disney Plus.
Our review is not on Saturday night. Thank you, Michael, for this one. It's going to be on Sunday, the 26th of November. We actually have 2 shows lined up for you here on the channel. At 10 a.m. in the morning, you can join us live for breakfast as we review some of the news headlines from the Whoniverse during the anniversary month of November as well, including, yes, of course, we will be revisiting Davros Gate. We will also hopefully have some breaking news in that show as well. Oh no, says Michael. And then also on Sunday, 26th of November, live at 7 o'clock, come and join us for Who's Views Reviews as we do get together to talk about the Star Beast. And that's our first.
It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, well, I hope so. And that's our first on this channel where we are actually reviewing a brand new episode. So I'm quite excited about that particular one as well. But please do come and join us. Make sure you've liked the video. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel. Make sure you share. Make sure you're doing everything that we're supposed to do on these platforms and doing all that sort of stuff. Go on, Michael.
One last question. I don't know whether you mentioned it because I didn't catch all the stream. Peter Capaldi, Matt Smith. What do you think? Are they going to turn up?
Well, back in whenever it was it June or the July on the breakfast show, we did actually put out a picture of Matt Smith in his costume with Catherine Tate in hers in this now
Wasn't
famous.
that fake? I thought that was fake.
I have no idea, but we put it out there in case to cover ourselves.
We've also got photos of Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, so stay tuned.
I don't think Capaldi's going to be in there at all. I don't think that's going to happen. But we did have Phil Collinson coming out earlier this month as well, saying we don't do multi-doctor stories anymore because it's been done to death, which I sort of get. So yeah, it would be a nice little surprise. But I don't know. But we will know, won't we? We will know. Oh gosh, here tomorrow evening after the broadcast. Pete Harrington saying Brecky with Who's Views. You can't beat it, mate. Honestly, Jack is saying read the Star Beast comic instead. read it as well. Oh, right, here we go. Tardy Spider is saying here, tell all of us stateside it starts at 5 a.m. CST. 5 a.m.
That's a sleep in for Tardy Spider. I mean,
I hope that. Mind you, if it's on the Disney Channel, can't you get it? You can get it anytime you want, can't you? Because it'll be there all the time. Won't it? Just sits there these days. Okay, you're right, Gary. We will all know what's going on in 24 hours. You're absolutely right from that one. Garbage is agreeing 24 hours from now. Ooh, it is all going to be there.
I reckon there's going to be some sore heads at the ABC in Australia, though. Oh,
really? Is that where they're all going to watch it?
No. Sorry, in terms of just this, because the ABC used to broadcast it, there'll be a lot of, well, not sore heads, probably not the best description. Annoyed people that can't, because normally now the ABC would be ramping up the publicity and all that.
I know, and I do feel for them after all these years, nearly 60 years of supporting the show and taking the show and being more or less what the BBC is over there. And
I know I harp on it, but it'd be like it leaving the BBC.
David's here. Hello, David. Thanks for joining us. He's saying tomorrow is the day of reckoning. They should have called one of the specials that, shouldn't they? The day of reckoning. I think I'm going to sum up what I'm feeling here. I think the specials will be, in a sense, safe. It's what follows as well that we will also be covering on this channel as we build up the anticipation for seeing what they're going to throw at us when Mr. Gatwa turns up as well. We know some of the stuff that's happening in his first series, some of which I find absolutely horrifying. I am really looking forward to talking all about it with you guys, with all the chums here on Who's Views in the Who's Views family. So listen, thank you to Time Meddler Brendan for joining me on this. Thank you, Michael, for popping in and joining us as well. I've really enjoyed tonight's show. I'm feeling a little bit better. I hope everybody in the chat is. I hope you're all feeling a little bit better as well. Gary's here. Countdown to the Z-bomb. And Pete wants to say he's praying Matt and Peter are there maybe for episode 2. We will soon know. But don't forget, we're going to be here every Sunday at 7 o'clock with Who's Views reviews on each of those episodes. Wow, what a show. Thank you, everybody, again. Nice to see you all. Tune in. We will enjoy tomorrow. Have fingers crossed, everybody. Everybody,
have fun, guys. Enjoy it. Go open minds.
Yeah. Let's see what it brings us. Keep your fingers crossed, everybody. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the episode. We will see you back here 7 o'clock Sunday night. Please do join us. It's our views, it's your views, and it's Who's Views. We will see you then. Bye, everybody. Good luck. We'll see you on the other side.